What are the common traits the people you interviewed has? What they have that others don't?
One thing that I admire about them is this sense that I will sometimes ask them about something that should have been painful, that they should have. Well, I'll give you an example. I talked to one entrepreneur about all the times that he was turned down by investors when he went out for funding. And I said, wasn't that depressing? Didn't that make you feel like you were nothing? And he said, oh no, Andrew. I wrote a spreadsheet that I shared with my co-founders with a list of all the investors who did not invest in us, so that one day when we succeeded, I could say, look at the list of all the people who missed out. And the interesting thing to me about that is, that's an experience that many people have. They bring an idea into the world, and people who are more experienced than them say, no, that's a bad, that's right, it will not work. And then in their heads, they keep thinking, this is too small, why did I get into it? Well, when they're pitching other investors or customers, they think, well, this is a bad pitch, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, maybe I shouldn't even pitch again, maybe I should go and try another idea. Same experience, they would have taken it to the bottom. He took that experience and found a way to turn it so that it allows him to go to the top. That's a distinction that's really impressive, and I see it so many times in my interviews.
So, to sum up, do you think you don't have to listen to people? Or do you think you have to create your own perception? Yeah, how can we develop the same trait?
I see what you mean. If he would have never listened to anyone and just said, okay, all these people are telling me there's something wrong, I'm not going to listen to anybody, I'm not going to listen to investors, I'm not going to listen to my customers, I'm not going to listen to my co-founders, yeah. He obviously would have, well, not obviously, he would have likely not done anything, well, not gone anywhere, but it's choosing what you accept. How many times do you have a thought in your head that you don't even want in there? I walked in here and I saw all this equipment that you had. I could have walked in thinking, what if I bomb? What if he spends all this time setting up his video cameras and I stink so badly that he regrets even setting it up? What if I walk in here and go, oh, for me, really? I didn't do anything nearly big enough to deserve to be on camera, and walked in with that attitude. Your experience, could you pick up on if that was going on in my head, could you pick up on that? Right? The person who's watching us is experienced enough in humanity to know if they would have seen me walk in with this insecurity, we said, this guy's, I shouldn't be watching. You know, what I said wouldn't have resonated, wouldn't have been as powerful, they wouldn't be listening this far. And so you pick the thoughts in your head. And what's interesting is that he picked the thoughts in his head, that I want to pick the thoughts in my head. My guess is, having studied you a little bit, that you pick the thoughts that you want in your head.
Okay, so it's the first thing. Do you see other things? If we take three traits, what could be the second?
Okay. Here's another one that's interesting. They're not afraid to sell. So I had a good friend of mine is Gagan Biani. He comes over to my house for dinner with some friends. Someone says to him, what is this new business that you have? Sprig, what is it? And he pulls out his phone. He says, can you take out your phone? Let's here, install it on your phone. I'll show you what it does. And then he starts telling them, you can order you can order dinner to your house right from your phone using my new service. Not afraid to sell, right? Where most people would have said, I'm not going to sell to my friend.
Why is they are not afraid to sell?
Because I think in some cases, they think that what they've created is so great that they believe in it. I think in other cases, they know that they have to sell in order to build a business. I think in still other cases, it's they have to sell because otherwise they can't get positive or negative feedback. If they say, would you like this thing if I built it? You don't really get good feedback. But if Gagan said, here it is, do you want to order dinner? He gets great feedback. So he did that to me via email. He said, I know you have people over to your house, you can use this to have dinner for them. I went and tried it, and I was able to go back to him and say, I'm worried about having dinner for 20 people at my house, and I order from Sprig. Now he got useful feedback. Someone who orders dinner for 20 people has different concerns than someone who orders dinner for just him and his wife, and now he has useful feedback because he asked me. And if he just would have emailed me and said, hey, I know you do dinners, would you ever use a service like this? I would have said, oh yeah, Gagan, I love you, of course, this is a great idea. But because he asked me to actually pay, he got much more useful feedback.
And were you afraid to sell?
Was I afraid to sell? You know what? On and off in my life. Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. I think with friends I'm much more afraid to sell, or was more afraid to sell, but I was more comfortable selling, especially in the first business that I had, over the phone where people can't see me, where I can just like ask a question and then bite my fist and just hold myself back because I'm so embarrassed that I said, would you buy? But they don't see that I'm doing that, and I get to sell.
But it's just to be sure to understand, it's easier for you in face-to-face or by phone?
Today I don't think it matters whether I do it face-to-face, by phone, via email.
So we have to learn, as an entrepreneur, we have to learn how to sell our own product, right?
I think so.
And so it is a very important thing, because a lot of entrepreneurs thinks that they will have a selling force and they will not have to.
Yes, I
sell.
know.
So is it
know.
working?
Is selling working?
Yeah. Do you think an entrepreneur can avoid to develop the skill of selling in having a team of selling men?
I guess maybe a team of salespeople maybe could compensate, but it's harder in the early days. Also, if you can't sell your actual product, then do you really believe enough in it? If you can't sell to customers, are you really going to be able to sell a co-founder on the idea that you have?
Okay.
If you can't sell,
you can sell to salesmen.
you can't sell to anyone, right? Right.
Yeah.
How are you going to sell to salespeople? How are you going to sell any of it? Plus, why would you want to? It's like saying I'm going to hire an outsourcer to have sex with my wife because I'm a little afraid. No, you got to learn to do it. This is part of the fun of business. Is that inappropriate for me to say?
Yeah.
Sex? Okay. It's part of the fun of business. When you communicate what you're doing and the other person's jiving with it and you're expressing it in a way that they want to buy it, you feel their love for what you built, and you want to build something that they're going to love even more, and that give and take is so much fun. I understand the challenge of it, but it's so worth learning to do.
Great. I love this second key. It's a new way, new content.
Yes.
And what could be the third one?
What
So
could be the what?
the third difference?
The third thing. Okay, so it's
It's hard to choose the third.
it's really hard to pick any one thing. I don't want to go with universals, but here's something that I really admire. There's some people who are really good at drawing others to them, to just work with them, to want to help them out. Tim Ferriss is like that. People who are high-end entrepreneurs, admire his ideas so much that they will just want to go and work for him, even if it's for free.
Oh yeah, I would love to know why and
Right?
how.
How you can go work for him for free?
No, it could be.
Or why do people want to do it? What?
Yes, how to develop, how the people who follow us now can develop this kind of skill.
You know
It
what?
is leadership.
I think it's this, I've been thinking about that same thing too. Why is it that some people want to work for free for others, and most people have a hard time finding anyone to help them out? And I think back to when I was a kid and I knocked on the door of Dale Carnegie and Associates and I said, can I please do anything to help here, to work here? I'll do whatever it takes to work here. I would have paid them to work there. And it was because I read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
I love this book.
Isn't it amazing? And
My favorite book.
It changed mine too. It changed the way that I interact with people, and I wanted to work for them so that I can be around their ideas more, so that I can embody their ideas in a way that I couldn't if I was just reading a book. And so if I think about why would someone want to go work for Tim Ferriss for free, or for my friend Noah Kagan for free, or for other entrepreneurs who I've interviewed for free, it's because they have some idea, some process that the person who wants to work for them wants to get and learn and embody themselves. So with Tim Ferriss, he thinks in such a structured way, in such an organized way, that I would want to work for him to understand how he processes things so that I can learn to do it, right? How he hires people to do things that most people would spend forever doing. Again, my friend Noah Kagan, he's such a good marketer. He's such a good product developer that when I have a conversation with him and ask him a question about how to market or how to create a better product, the ideas he gives me, the direction he gives me, the help he gives me, changes everything for me. And I think, all right, if I just have this conversation and I'm changed like that, imagine if I worked for him, how much I would get from him. And so I think that's what it is.
It, it is, if I work freely for him, I will get back not money but experience,
I think
value.
so. And become more like that, the person that he is. But they're not the only ones, and it's not always for free. How many people, when Jason Fried says, I'm hiring, how many people are dying to work for him at Basecamp, formerly known as 37 Signals? So many people would reach out to me asking for an introduction to Jason if they could, just so they could get a leg up in getting a job. Why? Because Jason Fried has a set of ideas that if you go and read his book, you'll become better for them. But if you work for him, you'll hopefully get even more of it. And sometimes it's books, sometimes it's a blog, sometimes it's just a way of operating that people gravitate towards.
I love these 3 keys, amazing.